What's up, guys? So you're here because you probably read the description of you want to drill a tank. Let me tell you, I drilled my first tank not long ago, and it was the most heart racing inducing, sphincter clenching experience of my life, or at least one of them. And I'm here to show you guys how to do it effectively. And once you do this once, it goes 10 times easier every other time around. So if you're just going to bear with me, I'm going to walk you through this entire process. So let's get to it. As you can see in the tank, I currently have the driftwood that I'm planning on putting in this 60-gallon cube in place. My reason for that is I need to plan where my overflows and my return are going to be. And having the driftwood in place helps with that. So with this 60-gallon cube, my plan is that I'm actually going to have two different overflows, both 3/4 of an inch PVC and a 3/4 inch return. So I need 3 bulkheads total. First things first, I've got my drill and I've got my glass hole saw on here. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video of the exact package that I purchased of these drill bits. You can get them off Amazon. They were like 14 bucks, and you can't beat the price. So, got my drill, got my hole saw, and I got my handy dandy Sharpie. Gonna go ahead and just disconnect the bit from there real quick. Now this is the important thing. Put your bulkhead holes. There we go. Put your bulkhead holes lower than you want them to be. And the reason for that is if you screw up and you put it up here, well, you're not going to have a lot of room for the ability to work your PVC pipe in, get everything in place, get your overflows in. You can always add more pipe. You cannot take pipe away. So with that in mind, I'm going to be dropping mine pretty low, down about here. And that's going to put it so that when it comes out, it's going to be out from this branch here. Now with the Sharpie, I'm just going to do a couple marks. At the top, bottom, and sides. Now my second overflow, I'm going to have spaced out a little bit over here so I can work it away from any branch work that's in place or will be in place. There we go. And my return jet, I'm going to have over here, I'm going to have a little bit higher than the overflows. That's just my preference, but, it should work all right. And like I said, if anything, you can always add more pipe. You cannot take pipe away. Alright, so now that I have the holes drilled, perfect, or not drilled, now that I have the holes marked, we go to the next step, removing all the stuff from the tank and positioning it to where I can actually drill it. I'm just going to put my driftwood over here. Yeah. Okay. Tank is now flipped on its side. Now we go to the next step. I'm going to be drilling these two holes first. I'm going to do for my overflow. And that is where handy dandy grocery bag comes in handy. And one of my best friends in the world, electrical tape. You're probably sitting here going, well, why are you using electrical tape? Why do you have a bag? Well, as you're drilling, there's going to be a bunch of glass shards that come off. And as I learned on a previous tank that I drilled, when you cut those shards out, they get everywhere on the inside of the tank. And they will stab you. And they hurt when you're trying to clean the tank later. So this is actually in place to help catch any of that stuff. Well, all right, guys. So now I have my plastic barrier in place to help keep my tank safe. And before I start drilling, I need to make sure to talk to you guys and tell you, make sure your tank is not made out of tempered glass. If it is tempered glass, it will shatter like a car window. And that is absolutely something you do not want. So, now that that's covered, grab my battery. I've got my drill in place. I've got my safety glasses. Safety glasses are always important. I'm going to actually angle the camera up just a little bit for you guys while I do this process. Now you're wondering about the soda bottle. I'm sure you are, because why would I have a soda bottle filled with water sitting here? What I've done with this bottle is there is a small hole. If I squeeze, you might be able to see it kind of squirting out a little bit. I poke that hole with just a nail. The benefit here is I'm kind of using physics. The bottle cap is on tightly, filled with water. So when I loosen this lid, it's going to create a water flow. Some of the most important things about drilling a tank is A, consistency in your pressure, consistency in the drilling, constant water flow. There are a lot of people that use hoses and clamp them on. I don't like to use the hose method. I live in the desert. The water company gets angry, makes a huge mess. So I'm using the soda bottle method. Creates less water, less of an incident, and so we should be good to go. So with my drill set to the maximum speed setting, the method I'm going to be using here is there's two different methods you can mainly use. One is where you have a template, you lay it where you want it, you put the drill bit in the template, and you drill away. The other method is a little more freehand style, but it's actually the one I prefer. Now if you prefer the template method, by all means use the template method. If you prefer the freehand method, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it will work in your favor. What you want to do, the way I do it, is I line my bit up, and I actually use the flat battery edge. It's kind of a guide. I'm going to drop my sunglasses here, and once I start drilling, it is going to be just holding the trigger and getting a consistent groove going. Once I get that groove going on this bottom edge, I can then rotate the drill up into that groove, and it can finish cutting the rest of the hole and just continue with consistency. So first things first, I'm going to loosen the cap here, get my water flow going. There we go. And start drilling. Took a break for a minute just because my arm started to cramp up and I need to readjust my water flow. back to it. There you go. We broke through. And we have a hole drilled right in the tank. Now, the inside of that hole is going to be very, very sharp. So, if you want to, you can do what I do, which is take your handy dandy drill. One of my favorite tools here in the garage. I use it for more projects than I can count. And you can get a diamond bit drill, or diamond tipped bit. There we go. Or you can just use a standard sanding drum like I am. And remember, safety glasses are important again. And just kind of smooth out those edges there. So there you have it. How to drill a tank. Hopefully it's been helpful for you guys. If you got any questions, comment, leave me a message, email me, contact me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to do. So, all right, that's all for now. Later.